Welcome to the Protagonist Pub. My name is Tammy, and today we're doing a video I never anticipated having to make. And it's about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. It's about our response to it and the importance of history as it directly relates to the events of a week ago tomorrow. So, for many of my viewers, this is the first political assassination that has affected you. In my lifetime, there have been many attempts, and it doesn't get easier. There is never an excuse for political violence. There's never an excuse to murder someone because their opinion differs from you. There is never justification for the celebration of violence, of murder, of ripping a man away from his wife and children. It is inexcusable behavior from decent, thinking, intelligent, compassionate people. And thus this video. There is, like I said, a correlation to recent history. Happened in 2015, happened in France, where a man named Charlie Hebdo was assassinated because he drew a cartoon and it was published in the magazine for whom he was employed. And he was published or assassinated because of his opinion and because someone disagreed with him, and the best way to do that, to solve the argument, was to murder the man. And the worldwide result in 2015, as some of you may remember, was the Je suis Charlie declaration. It was all over social media. Everyone in the Western world proclaimed that free speech was the single most important thing and no one should be murdered for their opinion. And it was an abomination. Fast forward 10 years, and not only has it continued, France is no longer recognizable as France from 20 years ago, let alone France 10 years ago. Much of Europe is now restricting speech, and everyone seems fine with it. And if you think America is not headed down the same path, please go look at history. Yes, our God-given right of freedom of speech is enshrined in the Constitution, and it is a God-given right, and it belongs to everyone across the world. No, I don't want it. Go lay down. However, we are unique in that our founding fathers were wise enough to include it. And yet, the statistics for restricting speech, the laws regarding quote-unquote hate speech, the percentage of generations after mine that believe it is okay to cut people out of their lives entirely because they disagree with them on just, one simple thing, or for their political beliefs, is just it's more than saddening. It's sickening. It is vile behavior. If you cannot have a civil discourse with someone who has a different opinion than you, that says far more about you than the person with whom you disagree. I could sit here and expound on the sanctity of free speech for hours, but I am not going to do that. Instead, this is to honor Charlie. And part of honoring Charlie is understanding that he wasn't assassinated because of his faith. He is not a martyr because of his faith. Yes, Charlie's faith was absolutely a key component of his entire personality, his discussions with everyone he talked to on college campuses. Is not why he was assassinated. And if we don't understand this, we will be in the same place France is right now in a very short span of time. Charlie was assassinated because of his political views. Charlie is a political martyr. Much like Charlie Hebdo in France, he was murdered to silence him. He wasn't murdered because he believed in Jesus. He wasn't murdered because he believed in the Trinity. He wasn't murdered because he was married and was, raising children in the faith. He was murdered because someone on the other side of the political spectrum didn't know how to have a civil conversation and decided to silence the man with a bullet. That is so far out of the norm. It cannot be tolerated. And for everyone claiming they're going to pick up Charlie's mantle and speak, I hope you do. I hope you realize that part of Charlie's mantle is not just his faith, it's his ability to talk peacefully and respectfully and intelligently to those that disagreed with him. You don't have to be Christian to pick up Charlie's mantle. You do have to uphold the First Amendment and let the other side talk. If you can't let the other side talk and have a conversation with them respectfully, then you need self-reflection. You need to excuse yourself from society. You need to broaden the sources of news and opinion upon which you read so that you can have a civil conversation with another person. Now, my way of honoring Charlie is to expound on the last video I saw from Charlie. I will link it in the description box down below. It was from July of this year. I probably didn't see it until sometime in August. And in this video, Charlie talks about how Protestants and evangelicals do not honor the Blessed Virgin Mary near enough. They undervalue her importance in Christian faith. And so, starting on October 14th, which is Charlie's birthday, I, over on Discord, am reading 2 nonfiction books that go directly to the video linked below. One in, through starting the 14th of October and starting on the 14th of November, we'll read the second book. So, and we're reading them in the order of publication. The first one is The Memoriam Option, God's Solution to a Civilization in Crisis by, who's it by? Carrie Grass. And it is short. It's just over 200 pages, including the footnotes. And so I will read you the inside flap. How can we save civilization? It's becoming a common question. As the world descends into chaos, Christians are thinking deeply about how to stem the tide. Many options have been presented to overcome Christian persecution and cultural decadence, but the Memoriam option is the one that is already in motion and has been for centuries. Dr. Carrie Grass provides a thoroughly researched account of the significant cultural and military events where Mary interceded on our behalf, her children. With a detective's eye, Grass uncovers the fascinating details of Mary's role in major geopolitical shifts, showing how instrumental our mother was in freeing Spain from Islamic occupation, igniting the largest mass conversion to Catholicism in history, leading an unassuming priest to bring down the world's most powerful empire without firing a shot, stomping out heresies and the false teachings from the church. Beyond the battlefield, the Memoriam option also highlights the link between Marian devotion and culture, showing how the arts flourish when devotion to her is strong. Oops. If we want to protect our children and our faith, if we want to restore civilization to Christ, Mary is the key. Not only is she keenly interested in assisting Christians, she has the ability to do so, even in the face of the gravest odds. We just have to ask. The Memoriam option will leave you with a new perspective on the Blessed Mother and renewed hope in the future of the Church and the world. So, that is the first book. The second book is The Anti-Mary Exposed, Rescuing the Culture from Toxic Femininity. It's also by Carrie Grass, and I will read you the flap. The demonic influence on women today. In the late 1960s, a small group of elite American women convinced an overwhelming majority of the country that destroying the most fundamental of relationships, that of mother and child, was necessary for women to have productive and happy lives. From the spoiling of this relationship followed the decay of the entire family, and almost overnight, our once pro-life culture became pro-lifestyle, embracing everything that felt good. 60 million abortions later, women aren't showing signs of health, happiness, and fulfillment. Increased numbers of divorce, depression, anxiety, sexually transmitted disease, and drug abuse all point to the reality that women aren't happier, just more medicated. Huge cultural shifts lead us to a rethinking of womanhood. But could there be more behind it than just culture, politics, and rhetoric? Building off scriptural foundations of the Antichrist, Carrie Grass makes an in-depth investigation into the idea of an anti-Mary as a spirit, not an individual, that has plagued the West since the 60s. Misleading generations of women, this anti-Marian spirit has led to the toxic femininity that has destroyed the lives of countless men, women, and children. Also in the Anti-Mary Exposed, how radical feminism is connected to the errors of Russia, spoken of by Our Lady of Fatima. The involvement and influence of the goddess movement and the occult, the influence of female demons such as Lilith and Jezebel, the repulsive underbelly of radical feminism's chief architects, a look at the matriarchy, a cabal of elite women committed to abortion who control the thinking of most women through media, politics, Hollywood, fashion, and universities. The antidote to the anti-Mary is, of course, Mary, the Mother of God, known widely as the most powerful woman in the world and the source of the belief that women ought to be treated with dignity. She is a beacon of all the virtues and qualities, purity, humility, kindness, beauty, that oppose this sinister force that has cast its spell upon so many women. Mary's influence is unparalleled by any woman in history. She is the perfect model of Christian femininity, who desires to be a spiritual mother to us all, leading us to her Son and to the fulfillment of our heart's deepest desires. So, we're going to start this one the 14th of November. These were part of my birthday haul. I was going to, talk about these books when I did that part of the birthday haul, but apparently God has a different plan. So, to honor Charlie, to counter the virulent, toxic, not just femininity, just toxic culture, too much social media, inability to talk to one another. These books are brief in nature, but I believe highly important. And so, I hope you will join me. I hope you will venture to honor Charlie by joining us, even if you're not Catholic. There is something for everyone to be gained by understanding the importance of the Virgin Mary. So, may God have mercy on Charlie's soul. May his wife and children find solace and comfort in God's embrace. And may our nation and may the Western world remember and begin to pull back the restrictions on free speech. May we as citizens understand the importance of honest, open, and respectful dialogue with those with whom we disagree. And most of all, may God have mercy on all of us as we continue to walk a very difficult and challenging path. So, leave a comment down below, like and subscribe, and I will see you here next time at the Protagonist Pub.